They will never speak the genuine truth, not even once, because the second they confess they are envious, they accept they have already lost. So instead, they grin. They applaud you. They label themselves your friend. Yet underneath that grin, something ancient and hideous is calculating precisely how to drag you down without ever lifting a finger. This is the hidden battle that almost nobody discusses. The conflict fought not with fists, but with quietness, subversion, and little venomous words. And the philosopher who comprehended this better than anyone who ever lived was a shattered, solitary German thinker named Friedrich Nietzsche. He examined human beings without pity, without flattery. And he noticed something most folks are too fearful to admit. He realized that envy is never loud. Envy is patient. Envy puts on the mask of kindness while it waits for you to stumble. If you have ever sensed someone's energy shift the instant you started winning, you already understand what I am discussing. If you have ever watched a companion grow cold the minute your life got better than theirs, you have already experienced this reality. And today, we are going to uncover it completely. We will walk through 7 actions envious people take when they realize they cannot rival you. And by the end of this, you will never view certain individuals the same way again. Nietzsche figured that most human beings are not motivated by love. They are fueled by what he termed resentment, a silent, festering bitterness toward anyone who possesses what they cannot obtain. It is not hatred in the manner we typically understand hatred. It is something chillier. It is the gradual decay of watching someone else elevate while you remain exactly where you are. And instead of questioning why, instead of evolving, the fragile mind finds it simpler to tear the powerful one down. This is the initial truth you must grasp. Jealousy is never flattery. Jealousy is simply fear wearing a disguise. The first tactic jealous people use is studying you in silence. They observe your routines, your discipline, the manner you carry yourself when nobody is clapping for you. They spot everything, yet they say nothing. They are constructing a quiet case against you, gathering evidence not to praise you, but to someday use against you. This mute observation is perilous because it feels like attention, and attention can easily feel like love. But Nietzsche would warn you, not everyone who monitors you closely is your friend. Some individuals study you the way a predator studies its prey, waiting, patient, and starving. The second thing they do is rewrite your narrative. They refuse to accept that your triumph came from sacrifice, from late nights you spent grinding while they were asleep, from hardship you swallowed while they whined. So they invent a fresh version of events. Suddenly, you just got lucky. Suddenly, you received help they didn't get. Suddenly, your strength turns into something accidental, something completely undeserved. This is what Nietzsche called the inversion of values. When the weak fail to rise to your level, they diminish the meaning of your achievement. Because they cannot make themselves taller, they attempt to make you shorter in the tale they spread about you. The third thing envious people do is stay quiet during your victories and become suddenly very vocal during your failures. Watch this pattern closely because it exposes everything. When you succeed, they disappear. No text, no acknowledgement, absolute silence. But the second you stumble, even slightly, they show up instantly, almost thrilled, asking if you are all right, in a tone that barely conceals their satisfaction. This is one of the bleakest truths regarding human nature. Certain people do not wish for you to suffer forever. They merely want you to hurt enough to remain beneath them. Your pain soothes them. Your struggle makes them feel ordinary again. The fourth thing they do is recruit others. A jealous person seldom attacks alone because deep inside they realize they cannot beat you by themselves. So they whisper. They sow doubt in another person's mind. They transform casual conversations into subtle character assassinations disguised as concern. I am just worried about them. I just feel like they have changed. This is the herd instinct Nietzsche despised the most. Weak individuals grouping together, not out of loyalty, but out of cowardice, forming a crowd, because a crowd feels much safer than confronting a strong individual alone. If you have ever wondered why suddenly several people seem distant all at once, this is frequently the hidden hand behind it. The fifth thing jealous folks do is copy you while denying it outright. This one cuts deep because imitation feels like treason when it comes from somebody who claimed they didn't even pay attention to you. Your style, your phrases, your concepts, your manner of speaking suddenly surfacing in someone else's life, recycled, repackaged, and showcased as their own original thought. Nietzsche understood this flawlessly. He noted that envy is the most sincere form of recognition the weak are capable of offering because they cannot truly create. So they mimic, and then they lie about where the inspiration came from. The sixth thing they do is wait. They do not construct, they do not grow. They simply wait for you to fail. Praying time will accomplish what they cannot. This is perhaps the most pathetic behavior of them all. Because while you are out there building, evolving, becoming a vastly stronger version of yourself, they are sitting idle, consumed by the wish that gravity will eventually drag you back down to where they are. Nietzsche called this the morality of the weak, a mentality that does not ask, "How do I ascend?" but instead whispers, "How do I ensure no one else climbs higher than me?" And the seventh thing envious people do, the deepest, most hazardous one, is they penalize your strength by labeling it arrogance. When you stand with confidence, they call you proud. When you establish boundaries, they call you cold. When you stop justifying yourself to people who never actually understood you anyway, they deem you arrogant, distant, or changed. This is not the truth. This is the oldest trick weakness has ever played against strength, twisting your power into something shameful so that you minimize yourself simply to make them comfortable again. Nietzsche warned about this precise trap. He stated that society frequently punishes the strong for their strength while rewarding the weak for their frailty, because mediocrity feels much safer when everyone agrees to remain small together. But here is the profound truth hiding beneath all seven of these patterns. The realization Nietzsche wanted us to grasp. None of this is actually about you. It was never about you. Jealousy is not a response to who you are. It is a mirror reflecting who they refuse to be. Every time someone attempts to shrink you, rewrite you, isolate you, or shame your achievements, they are confessing something about themselves they would never say out loud. They are admitting that somewhere inside them there is a version of themselves they forsook, a dream they buried, a discipline they never found the courage to develop. And instead of reviving that part of themselves, it is much easier to attack the living proof standing right in front of them. For you, Nietzsche believed, life is not about being liked. Life is about blossoming into who you truly are, even if that evolution makes weaker individuals uncomfortable. He referred to this as the will to power. Not dominance over others, but mastery over your own fears, your own excuses, and your own hesitation. The people who cannot keep up with you were never destined to walk beside you forever. Certain people are only in your life to test whether you will dim your own light, just to keep their company. So, what should you do with all of this? You do not become bitter. You do not turn cruel. You become observant. You watch the quietness. You notice who vanishes when you elevate and who reappears when you drop. You stop justifying your success to people who are determined to misunderstand it. And most importantly, you stop holding back just to make jealous people feel comfortable. Because Nietzsche knew something most folks never learn. The instant you start minimizing yourself for others, you betray the only life you were ever handed. Let them watch. Let them whisper. Let them copy, wait, and judge from the sidelines of their own unrealized potential. Your duty was never to make them comfortable. Your mission was to become so undeniably yourself that their envy becomes the loudest compliment they will never have the bravery to speak out loud. Because ultimately, the world does not remember those who waited in the shadows hoping somebody else would fail. It remembers the ones who kept walking, kept creating, and kept evolving, even when the silence around them was filled with people who simply could not keep up.